Hey, everybody, we are live. We just watched the extradition hearing press conference from Pennsylvania with the officers who came in and gave some updates on the case. I'm here with Steph, the alternate, and Louis Lecca. Let me make sure you can see you guys well to break down what we just learned regarding this suspect. I got to be honest, guys. I've been a little bit out of it. Sorry, make sure I have this open for you guys. Hold on. Sorry, we're trying this again. Where did I?
Your mic is also blown to me, Andy. So just make sure.
Sorry, bear with me 1 second. There they are. I was like, where are they? Now I see you.
Hi, guys.
Now I see you. Yay.
Yay.
All right, hold on. I'm going to do the intro one more time. Let's do that one more time. I like it when they're two on top. There we go. And hold on, let me fix this one. Okay, sorry. Now, with the tech problems sorted, here we go. New intro. Put this in the time code for me. This is 2512. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. We were just live watching the Idaho suspects extradition hearing with the police officers in Pennsylvania who were breaking down as much as they could share about the case, which was not a lot. So I've trimmed this out so you can get a recap here and you can get our thoughts on what's updated, what's the latest, and all that. If you want to watch the full members only replay, including the press conference and our reaction to it, you can hit the join button and catch our whole long show. I'm here with Steph, the alternate, Louis Lecca. Thanks for being here, both of you. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Welcome to 2023. Oh my gosh, so much exciting stuff in store. I can't wait. But this is such a bummer. It's been a little bit of a bummer to start. A lot of sad news has been hitting between the Jeremy Renner, the football players. A lot of sad stories, and this is definitely a tragic story to start the year with. Clearly, one we'll have to be updating you guys throughout. But Louis, I'm going to lean on you a little bit more because I know you've been covering this, and you did so even here while I was out. Thank you for your help,
You're
both
welcome.
of you. Basically, just so we're clear, this the suspect Bryan, Kohberger.
Bryan Kohberger. Yes.
Kohberger was found in Pennsylvania, and that's when we just learned that the officers set up their, surveillance, etc., to help assist Moscow, Idaho PD and to find him and to serve him and get him. Now, they didn't really reveal much. I feel like there was a couple interesting things. The biggest being that they, the papers still can't be opened. It's all sealed. And part of the reason that Bryan waived the extradition accepted the extradition is going to Idaho is because he needs to open up those files to learn more for his own case. But the way it works in Idaho is it's sealed until he's in Idaho. So it sounds like they were trying to quickly get him out of the Pennsylvania prison so they could get him to Idaho so they can unseal those documents, which then we may learn more information as well to follow this case. And that was pretty much what happened today. On top of that, it was interesting. They did reveal that they planned a night experience of serving. They've been surveilling the house where they knew he was, and they brought in tactical teams to sort out that. There were some broken windows and doors when they did it, and they figured out the most optimal time to cover it to avoid any injuries or dangerousness for the people inside the house. His parents were there, as well as the officers themselves, and they did an evening thing. Got him. He's been now arrested. We have footage of him actually arriving earlier in the vehicle to the courthouse, which you can see here from the prison transfer van as he was brought into this extradition hearing. And overall, that was pretty much the biggest takeaways that I was able to gather. I'm going to go to Stephanie and Louis when we get there, but this all seemed pretty by the book where we're at, and they still aren't giving us
How are you feeling?
How are you feeling, Bryan? Why did you do it? You want to in Pennsylvania, Bryan?
Pretty much it. We also had some moments here.
The hearing has ended. We saw Bryan Kohberger actually enter that courthouse hours before this extradition hearing. By all accounts, it appears that he has waived his extradition. The judge asked him if he is making this decision free and clear and of his free will, and that he was not on any kind of medications. He has indicated that is so. And now it appears that he will be transported back to Idaho within the next 10 days for this legal process to continue, and we will cover every second of it here.
So there you go. We will cover it as well, but they had some footage there I want to show you as well as a summary. Lewis, so I want to go to you before I want to do a breakdown on who Bryan is and what the updates are of the case, because I've been a little out and I want to get updated from you. But starting with what we just watched, any surprises on your end that you want to mention to the audience?
As far as I'm concerned, I shared this with Steph last week, I believe, and my opinions were, I'm not bragging, but they were all right. People looked at initially they looked at Bryan Kohberger as a scrawny kid. He's not. He was standing next to all the police officers. He was taller than all of them. Had broad shoulders. I actually thought that was going to be the case from the beginning, because that's the only way a person with four, that could take on four people could be. I mean, it takes a lot of cardio strength, a lot of skill, and now we're learning he was a kickboxer to do this to someone. So as far as surprises are concerned, not many. I don't see any surprises here. He's got that blank stare we saw in the pictures right there as you pause it. That's a perfect example. People are fascinated. There's not much more to say except, wow, the security around him was intense. They went as far as blocking several city blocks around this event. And he was with a bulletproof vest, I believe. So, and heavy artillery with all the security around him. That's about it. That's the only thing that surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty high profile case. It's nice to see that they're taking it seriously. And, they are. This is a lot of eyes on there. There was a lot of press at these conferences. And I imagine will continue to be, because, again, important to remind everybody, he's accused, right? Due process. We'll see what happens. We're still waiting for more information. However, it does seem like there's some new information coming to light, which was that apparently was caught due to genetic DNA testing, is what they're saying today. Sorry, let me just close the thing here, but was arrested in the help of genealogical DNA testing, according to reports. Washington State University criminology student, that's important. We'll go through some of this stuff as well. Arrested by FBI agents and officers by the Pennsylvania State Police near Pocono Mountains. The Poconos, sorry, I've been there. I used to live there, so I should know how to say it. According to documents, the press conference, Moscow police said that more information about the circumstances leading up to the arrest would be released once he appeared in court in Idaho. It has since been revealed that the breakthrough in the case was unsolved for over a month came after a process called genetic genealogy led investigators to Mr. Kohberger. Sources with knowledge of the investigation tell CNN that the unidentified DNA evidence was run through a public database to find potential family member matches. DNA testing was followed by investigative work by detectives to arrest him as a suspect. It's a technique to study family history that has revolutionized criminal investigation for law enforcement. It is used to identify the remains by tying the DNA to a family with a missing person or to point to the likely identity of a perpetrator, according to experts. DNA evidence from the crime scene is run through DNA of volunteer participants who volunteered to provide their samples, open source databases. He was charged with 4 counts of murder in connection with the killings. It's the first significant breakthrough, obviously, of the murders of Madison, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. Sources tell CNN detectives tracked and surveilled the suspect for days before he was arrested. His attorney he's using public defenders, which is interesting. We'll talk about that too. And said he intends to waive his extradition hearing to expedite his return to Idaho. He's eager to be exonerated by these charges and looks forward to resolving these matters as promptly as possible, said the public defender. And again, important we say, this is, accusation. He has a chance to defend himself in a court of law, but they must have had some pretty good, compelling reasons to go do this and get him. Thoughts, Lewis, about all this, the DNA testing and everything else?
Incredible. I think it's pretty silly right now to think you get away with this kind of stuff. Although, yes, you are right. He had a PhD in criminal justice. That's what he was studying for. Maybe he wanted to become so good at it. He became, that's one of the speculation is that he became what he wanted to know his field so well that he wanted to become the enemy to one point. But I think the most important thing here, if you give me a second, Andy, to say, is rest in peace, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, who are the young kids who were never going to be with us anymore. And all they wanted to do is go to school and become better. better people, better citizens, better human beings, and their parents who sacrifice themselves by, paying for the tuition that's not cheap. And then some SOB has to do this to them. And this is probably happening a lot. I know that this story got a lot of public attention, but I've been told by officers that this happens more than often. But I just want to, let's not forget them and take care of their loved ones.
Absolutely. And in terms of like where, my whole thoughts on this, I had mentioned last week when we were discussing this case, they hadn't found the weapon. However, they were still able to charge him with all four, right? And you got to think to yourself, how are they still able to do that without the actual weapon? Didn't I say it must have been DNA that they linked him to? Because it was on that same day that they arrested him that they were doing the cleanup of the house and doing some last minute testing, this, that, and the other. They'd also found the car as well, which, by the way, from what I've read, they found his DNA and were able to arrest him and charge him with all four. So I'd like to say I called that one a little bit, just to kind of put that out there.
The thing is now we're with the new tech. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if this is new technology or what it is, Steph and Andy, but they could actually, because they could find your DNA at a crime scene. Yeah. And if you don't have a criminal record, they can't really do anything with it because you're not in the system. So let's say I commit a crime, which I won't, and I'm good. I've never been caught, but Steph is a person who does commit crimes. And since she's my sister, they'll find, they'll match my DNA with hers and it'll be like, yo, what's up here? So they'll like pretty much could tell who's related to who. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It was brought to my attention that during the OJ trial, they could find DNA, blood DNA within someone else's blood DNA. So I don't know. I don't begin to even pretend to know how that works. But
dude, I mean, the simple fact that they're now able to, because I found out when reading up on this case, the coroners, they can, the crime scene investigators can actually take now 3D pictures of the crime scene. And I was like, when I was reading up on it, I was like, what the frick? I'm just there thinking, because I'm obviously too old now. I'm like 36. I'm getting on a little bit now. I'm there thinking they're there with the Polaroids and the taking. Oh, no. They are proper bougie when it comes to their gadgets now. They're taking 3D freaking pictures. I'm like, okay, fair play.
So they can actually go
technology
back into
at
the
work.
crime. Yeah, so they could actually, correct me if I misunderstand, but they could actually go back to the scene anytime, uncorrupted, because they took a picture of it. It's in 3D. They could walk around the house with probably virtual reality glasses. And, maybe if they overlook something, they could look something may happen to the ceiling. They look up and there's something in the ceiling, some evidence or something similar to that. I'm assuming that's smart. So if you're one of these people that want to put harm on others, you're going to get caught. This is not, the past. So you're going to get caught. So if you want to live in that, don't do it. Just don't do it. No one likes you. So that's the thing here, Andy.
Yeah, it's a lot to this is going to be a long case. It's clear we have a lot to go through. There's a lot of processes that we're still waiting for, and obviously as he gets to Idaho within the next 10 days, we'll get a lot more information to download. I want to go through a little bit. Just what do you anything else you want to share sort of on him? I've been Googling around.
Well, okay,
there's a lot of stuff. There's this report. I mean, is this true? Like he was stalking them for weeks, wearing gloves to avoid leaving evidence, claims friends. I assume, just like all these cases. We got to be careful of what's real and what's not. But a lot of people coming forward, sort of trying to talk. They knew him and what he's like. Is there anything in your in what you've covered? And by the way, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Nerd Report because he's been covering this great. He's always a little bit ahead on true crime out of all of us. It's a good area. If you like it, make sure you go follow him and subscribe. Mods, if you're there, share the link to Nerd Report. But anything else in your coverage so far as to, is this true? Anything else you want to bring up?
Well, we could go on for days with this. I don't know how much time you have, but as in regards to this article you pulled up here from the Daily Mail, it's talking about that allegedly, and it's all allegedly, one of the investigators, someone that was in hot pursuit of Bryan Kohberger, actually walked into a store, a grocery market or whatever you want to call it, and he told his friend, this investigator, this police officer, that he's so concerned about getting caught that he wears gloves inside the supermarket so there's no fingerprints around. So we're supposed to picture a police officer calling someone and telling them this. I don't know how true that can be, because from the best of my knowledge, they found out where he was like about 4 days before they caught him. So I don't think like someone who's pursuing a suspect is going to have time to call his buddy and say, hey, by the way, dude, I'm after this guy. He's wearing gloves. But maybe it did happen. I don't know. That is a little weird. And again, we could go on forever. He has a PhD. He's an assistant teacher. He has a Reddit post that people think it's him, where he's asking about the criminal mind. There's stuff like that. So yeah, there's stories of him being very cooperative in jail, and there's also stories of him not being cooperative. So there's going to be a lot of rumors. There's rumors that one of the victims used to work at a restaurant where they serve vegan food, and he ordered from her, and that's where he became obsessed and started following her and the entire group. There's also the thing where he's an obsessed vegan, where like he can't even eat out of a plate where animals used to be cooked on or something like that. So it goes on and on and on. And this is because people are interested in this kind of case. It's the real life boogeyman. So there's going to be.
But it's one of the reasons, Lewis, why we've really only started to like cover this case on Popcorn Planet now, because we kind of learn a little bit from the Gabby Petito case that when you've got a situation that's this high profile, you can get lost with yourself in the conspiracy theories, and it can get crazy like no one's business. We were talking about it last week. There was that psychic, I'm not even going to mention her name because I don't think she should be mentioned, on freaking TikTok, saying this is the dude, and literally it's like destroying people's lives by turning around and saying this tarot deck is saying that it's this person who's a teacher, right? Yes. And it's not even him, but she's naming him.
Her, yeah.
Yeah, her. Naming him and everything. And it's like, it brings out, dare I say, the crazies, where they're peddling all these conspiracy theories. And if you're not careful, you can go down these rabbit holes and you can lose yourself, and then you don't know what's true and what's not anymore. So, when you deal with a case that's this high profile, you get your head on straight, and you got to be like, right, okay, what's facts and what are we getting from the police force? Correct. And we just report on that, really, as far as I'm concerned. Because that we know is for definite. Anything else is circumstantial, wildly speculative, and at times extremely dangerous.
Correct.
And I know that for me personally, I'm not going to be contributing to that BS, to that noise. There's enough people that are doing it out there.
Yeah, and we're extra careful here in the community, Popcorn Planet, Steph the Alternate, and myself. Sometimes we will get tricked, because I think we can speak for all three of us. We're not perfect, but we are very careful. Sure, we could go ahead and say, like I had someone say, because another aspect of this, Andy and Steph, I don't think you touched upon this, is that the suspect was actually on his way from Idaho to Pennsylvania. His dad was driving the same Honda, the car that was, everyone was like, that's the car, the Honda Elantra, a white. He was stopped twice by police allegedly. And I think this really happened for speeding, and he got caught for speeding. And then a few moments or a day later, whatever, he was stopped for tailgating. So that's weird. And someone called in and goes, well, the reason they didn't know is because he's changed the license plate 5 times. It's like, well, bro, we looked that up and it's not true. But people are going by, somebody puts a lie out there and then they run with it.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the vehicle.
Is this?
Wow, that's a new picture for me. Go down with the father. Is that the father?
Yeah, let's do this. So
yeah, this is breaking news.
Okay, we got some breaking news. I'll clip this as Steph said. Well, that's the end of the show. We had to break into breaking news, which if you missed it, the body cam footage has been posted as a separate clip, but I clipped the rest of the show so you could get that recap of the story so far. Please, if you haven't already subscribed to Popcorn Planet, as well as Nerd Report and Steph the Alternate, hit that bell for all alerts on all 3 channels. Smash that button. Leave a comment for the algorithm and help spread the word. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Steph. Lewis is live next. We're throwing him over there. Make sure you go over to Nerd Report as well. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll be live again tomorrow with more updates for you as well. Appreciate you guys. Stay great out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.